So you want to make melodic bass like the type of music that you can send to your rave babe? I see what you're trying to do here. If the answer is yes, then thank you for clicking on this video, because I'm gonna show you how to do it. That's right, I'm talking full emotional chord stacks, tastefully trappy drums, maybe even a little bit of. But the real question is, how do you make any of that? What's the magic that makes these chords so emotional? And how important are the plugins that you use to achieve this? Made popular by artists like Dabin, Slander, Said the Sky, it's meant to hit you so emotionally that you want to cry, but dance at the same time. So, the perfect place to start would be set the BPM to 145. Low pass analog saw wave playing a rising riff. Contrasted with a falling arp on a Glock. Filter in a distorted sine wave copying the Glock melody to bring it in smooth. On a piano, play some chords. Don't just pick 4 chords like this and then call it a day. Pick 6 instead. These are the chords I used. Copy those chords onto a pad. And for maximum emotion, copy them onto some strings too. Next, we're going to make a bass line. To do that, copy those same chords onto a blank MIDI track and delete everything except the root note. In Ableton 12, set the timing to 1/8, select all the notes, and push Command or Control E. Zoom in a bit and drag them all back slightly. And that gives you a rolling bass line. Put that same bass line on a sub as well. Spice it up with the Spice Rack. For sale now, go buy. Emotional guitar playing only one note, cause no time for riffage while we're too busy crying. I'm just kidding. Add in a few accent notes and a harmonic for some flavor. And a vocal, but not for a lead, just a background chop instead. And instead of big white noise impacts, copy over those same chords to a supersaw, set it to noise mode, and crank it up for a more subtle, smooth, melodic white noise that ties it all together. For the drums, pick a kick that's not too clicky. Not like that. So we'll fix it by just shaving a bit off the top. It's really subtle, but things like this help. Also, finding a drum sample that hits right in the chest and nothing too deep or too clicky is best for this genre. Before, after. But it still has that chest hit. Now, this kick naturally has a bit of a low-end tail, and we don't want that either. We want it to be tight. So, just getting that body of the kick. This is the kind of stuff that you listen to a lot of music and you gain this type of intuition over time. So don't sweat it if this doesn't make sense to you yet. Instead of a snare, we're going to do a clap and put it on the 3, which means every time you see a 0.3 on the measure, you put a clap. If you can't see it, just zoom in a little until you see the decimals. Now, if you're a newer producer, you might put your kick something like this. But we're not going to do that. we're going to syncopate the kick so it's not boring. Meaning, not just putting it on the first beat, and with the syncopation, the drums sound like... Notice how I'm changing the kick pattern around a lot. Hi, I'm Ash. Welcome back to the channel. And I want to take this moment to remind you that even though I just talked about syncopation, too many of y'all learn about it, get really excited to make your own stuff and make it sound weird and wonky and forget that you need to balance it out with a boring section. So now that we have syncopated our kicks like this, we need an anchor. So hi-hats playing on the 8th note. You see there's no hi-hat rolls, no weird timings, just on the 8th note. These hats will also match the rolling bass line and the steady guitar so that the kicks have their moment to shine. They'll add that sauce so it doesn't sound boring. Don't know what I mean? Altogether it sounds like... For the build, see this part? Just copy and paste. Done. Kidding. Since it's a build up, change the kick pattern to a build one. UK G drums because they're trendy, I guess. Change up the bass line to sustain so it's not plucking anymore because the kick is now fulfilling that plucking rhythmic roll. And a square wave with unreasonable amounts of glide. So you can write a lead like... Now, you do have a choice. If you want to eventually add vocals, it might be a good idea to low pass it so that you have room. And I'm going to leave it like that because I'm eventually going to add vocals. So, secret saw layer to subconsciously hint at melodies to come. And of course, almond break for the pre-drop. And altogether, the build-up sounds like... Ash, why are you upset? Oh, my social media reach is never good enough despite having a decent following. Well, why don't you use Bandzoogle? Bandzoogle? What's that? Bandzoogle is the latest DistroKid partner and the sponsor of this video, which gets you a dedicated website for your music. With a dedicated website, you can show exactly what you want and present yourself in the best way possible, outside of algorithms or layout changes or potential app bans. It even lets you make an EPK, electronic press kit, which you can use as a landing page so you can present yourself to potential agents, labels, and more. So get the step up you deserve by using Bandzoogle and DistroKid. Because with your DistroKid membership, you can try Bandzoogle for free for the first 30 days. If you want to take advantage of that, use my VIP link to sign up for DistroKid, get 7% off along with a Bandzoogle trial as well. Take your music marketing to the next level, and thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. Now, drums like this. Now let's break this drum beat down a little bit. See all this space? Well, it's because we need a fake out. So in order to make that, just count out 8 beats and put a kick right there and then a fat snare right here for maximum fake out potential. We've got a weird high-pitched snare because contrast and subverting expectations. We also keep the syncopated kick from the intro, maybe adding a few more kicks for flavor. And we do have the constant hi-hat once again to anchor it all together, because consistency pairs well with syncopation. But since this is the drop, we can add a few little flourishes to make it sound cool. Notice how I'm not going too crazy with it. Like, out of the whole thing, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flourishes. And then it actually stops. So you'll see why though when we get later into the drop. Let's move on to chords.
Oh, I know what to do here. It's copy the chords from the intro and the build.
No.
But that's what Excision and Wooly does.
Okay. But you know, predictability is not the way to impress any rave baddie.
I know all about modal, microtonal, counterpoint, 12-tone harmonic equalizers, multi-band Shakarian analysis. Have you even heard of that?
Okay, that's not necessary, but you're missing the point. Avoiding predictability doesn't mean abandoning familiarity. Check this out. I'm actually going to use a really common chord progression for the drop. These are the chords I used. But to make it a little less predictable, chop it up like this, space, and add a few top notes or leading voices like this. Now, this little chord thing we made is pretty good, and we could repeat it and call it a day, but we're not even going to do that. We're going to write another chord progression. I did this as a response to the first more predictable one, this time using a less common chord progression for that nice switch-up vibe. These are the chords I use. Add in a few chops as well for flavor.
That's not microtonal.
Okay, fine. One chord with an out-of-key note. Are you happy? Yeah. Now here's where the copy and pasting does happen. Take the big dual chord progression that we made, copy it from the supersaw onto a noisy square. And copy it again onto another noisy square, but one that's a little more muted and wider. Now, to help round out all of these fat chord stacks, taking the root note of the chord stacks and putting it onto a thick saw wave. And the sub as well. But only after the fake out, because we need the drop to hit hard. Remember this melody that we were hinting with? That's right. With all of these chops and syncopated kicks, we need a constant element to anchor it all together. So take that melody and put it onto a scream lead. Volume warning. After the fake out, duplicate it and drown it in a reverb for a wide layer. Group it all together with some reverb and dynamic tube, which will glue it all together. The simple rhythm of this lead by itself is kind of boring, I'll admit that. But because we have the chords doing all sorts of riffing and chopping, this steady rhythm will help tie it all together and give you and your rave bay something to sway to. Put it all together, and you've got a never let him know your next move type of drop. I will say, we went kind of crazy with this drop. So, let us make a B section that's much simpler. I mean, 4 to the floor kick drums with the constant hat. Copy and pasting the chords from the intro onto the saw stacks. But also including the second part of the chords from the drop too. Complete with chops and all. Bring in that guitar from the intro, add some distortion on it. Copy that onto another saw wave. And don't cry when I play this because and if you finally notice that I haven't mentioned a single plugin that I've used, that's because it's important as producers for us to realize that there is an overemphasis on the importance of plugins. A lot of the concepts that I laid out, finding moments of contrast, syncopation, composition, nailing your arrangement, and songwriting will always make more of a difference than any plugin that I've used. So, put your energy into learning and sharpening those skills. Instead of thinking that there's going to be a shortcut by spending $1,000 on the hottest plugin bundle, no, work on your songwriting. But since I'm not a loser, and to thank you for making it this far into the video, here's a list of the plugins that I used, along with how you can use these plugins for some final touches. Now, a lot of this song lives and dies by the details you add after you've written your main idea. So it's good to find little pockets where you can do neat things aside from the standard risers and impacts. You can make some reverb swells. Rack available in description. On the saw waves, using auto pan for future bass wobbles. Making sure to unsync it from the beat and choosing your own rate gives some more organic sounding results. Another thing you can do too is the free kilohertz tape stop plugin. That gives us all of the nice pitchy goodness that you hear in places like. Also, finding random dubstep samples and finding pockets where you can include them are fun like this too. On the almond break, doing a delay rack with an unsynced delay for some metallic sounds as well. And without, that sounds like. This adds a little subtle flam to the sound. And you know what? Another rack for you too, down in the description. And if you've made it this far, you're a legend. If there's any other artists you want me to break down, comment it down below. But making these types of videos, from writing, producing the songs, from research, not to mention the amount of editing I do, will take me sometimes 20 to 30 hours. This one took me way more. So if you support what I'm doing, even just liking this video and subscribing to my channel helps my content reach more people and lets me keep doing this. If you want to support me even further, check out my Patreon. Even just the $2 tier helps me way more than you realize. Plus, you'll find project files for most songs you've heard on this channel, along with presets for Serum, Vital, the Ableton racks I mentioned, and start to finish videos. Now, all together, from the beginning, and with vocals, it sounds like.
I hear the fading of the engine hum, sinking cold until my fingers